Hello everyone, in this video I will be talking about one of the most widely used Python package, which is Pandas. So it is the most powerful and flexible open source data analysis and manipulation tool. So using Pandas package, you can perform exploratory data analysis on the dataset, and it is one of the very important package in Python, and it is well suited for different kind of data like tabular data, ordered and unordered time series data, observational and statistical data sets. There are basically two data structure in pandas. One is series, which is for the one-dimensional, and another one is data frame, the two-dimensional. So this is just a short introduction of pandas package. Now I will move to the practical implementation, how we can use pandas. So here you can see in this notebook, I'm showing how what all operations you can perform using Pandas package. So firstly, I am importing the Pandas package, import Pandas as PD. So here I'm creating an alias for Pandas, and everywhere I will be using PD. So first I will talk about the very first data structure in Pandas, which is series. So series is nothing but it's a one-dimensional array. So how you can create it? So you can create it with the help of list as well. So this is the very basic way to create a series. So here I have created a list of numbers, and then I'm converting it to the array using np.array and passing the list object over here. Then using the pandas series function, I'm passing the data as my list. So here I'm passing the list which I have created here, and then it will convert the list into a series. So here you can see it has created a series of number. Also, I'm creating a data equals to my array over here. So here I'm converting the array to series. So here you can see here I've created a series. So in this way you can create a series using a list or NumPy array. And how can you access these series? So it is very simple to access the series. I'm just specifying the index number, which index I want to access. So here I have specified the index position 2. So it will give me the value which is present at index position 2. Here you can see 1.7 is present corresponding to index position 2. And currently, you can see in the labels, like it is in the format of 0, 1, 2, 3, and you can see that like it's not very much readable. So you can also add labels to the series. So here I have created a list of labels. I have given some random names to a label like first, second, third, fourth, and using the series function, I'm passing my list over here in the data, and my labels equals and index equals to my labels. So I'm passing the list of labels as an index. So now I'm printing it. So here you can see in the labels, I'm getting the same list like first, second, third, fourth. So it is more readable right now. And you can also pass this label list as explicitly, like you don't have to specify data equals to or index equals to. You can directly pass the name of the data, like what is the list you have for the data and the labels. Also, you can access entries in the index label by using the label. So here I want to access the entry at index 0. So here I'm specifying my series for second. So I should get the result as 6.1, and that's what we are doing here. Operations of series. So we can perform different kind of operations on series, like we can perform concatenation. So here you can see like this is my series, and these are the labels I have created. And now what I'm doing here, you can see this plus sign. I'm combining or concatenating my series 5 and my series 4 here. So you can see in the resultant output, I'm getting this result. Also, you can notice like I'm getting NaN over here, that is not a number. So you can see in when I'm concatenating my series 5 with my series 4. So in my series 5, I have label as first, third, fourth, fifth. But if I'll go up and check for my series 4, I have label as first, second, third, fourth, and I do not have anything like fifth, and that is the reason it is giving NaN. So it's pretty cool to understand. If we do not have the value corresponding to it, it will give the value as NaN. The next thing is concatenating series. So how we can concatenate? So the same thing we can achieve it with the pandas concatenate function. So here I'm just passing what all series I want to concatenate. I'm also passing the axis equals to 1. So in pandas, axis equals to 1 means you want to combine the columns, and axis equals to 0 means you want to combine the rows, and I'm setting the sort equals to false. So by default it is true. I'm making it as false here. So here you can see in the result, I have combined or concatenate both the series here based on the columns. So this is the result of concatenation. Now we will talk about the second data structure in pandas, that is data frame. And it is also very important data structure we are using in machine learning projects whenever we have to load any kind of data set. So this is the most widely used and one and only uh, a data structure we are using for loading the data set in machine learning projects. So here you can see like how to create a data frame. So what I'm doing here, I'm just randomly creating the data for creating the data frame. So I am using the random function of NumPy package and then giving the size as 5 cross 5. So it will create a matrix of 5 cross 5 dimensions over here, and it will randomly create the data for it. Also, we can add labels to the data frame. So the way we have added the labels for the series, in the same way we can do it. So here you can see for creating the data, I am using random function over here. In the index, I'm passing the label information like first row, second row, and so on. For columns, so column is basically like this one. Here I'm passing the data for columns. So you have to pass the information in index and the column. Now I'm printing it. So here you can see I have a very good data frame created over here, which has the labeled index and labeled columns. Another operation is accessing data frame. So it is super easy to access data frame. You just have to specify the uh, index which you want to access. So for example, I want to access the second column of this data frame df3. So I have just specified over here the name of the second column. So as you can see, the value of the second column is minus 0.343261, and this complete column I'm able to see over here. Also, I can access multiple columns. So if you want to access multiple columns at a time, so you can just pass the values of different columns. So if I want to access third column and first column, so in this way you can just pass it with the help of comma operator. And also we have concept of location based accessing. So based on the location, you can directly access the data from the data frame. So for that, we have location uh, function. So here I'm just specifying the dot .loc fourth row it means I want to access the data of the fourth row. So if I'll come to the top, so it is printing the data for me for the entire fourth row. So in this way, you can just mention, and there is a way to mention the index as well. So here for giving the index value, for that you have to give ilog. So ilog is basically to search with the help of the index number. So here at index 2, I want all the values to be printed. So yeah, you can see it is printing the value at index 2. And also you can mention the different rows and different columns you want to access the value for. So here I'm just accessing the value for the fourth row and first row, and for its second column and third column. Next is logical based accessing. So we just discussed about location-based accessing. Also, we can access logical-based accessing based on certain condition. If the condition is true, it will print value only for those data frame. Then we can add columns to the data frame. If you want to add any new column to the data frame, so you can do it by mentioning the extra label to it. So here I'm mentioning the column label here, and then I'm randomly assigning the value, and it is like 5 cross 1. So 5 rows and 1 column I'm creating over here, and here you can see on the right side the sixth column has been added. Also, you can drop the column, so it is very simple. You just use the drop function over here. Also mention the column access, like access equals to 1, in place equals to true to make it permanent. Dropping a row. You can also drop a row. For that, you have to mention access equals to 0. After dropping, so there might be possibility like rows have been dropped from uh, random locations. So for that, you have to write reset underscore index function. It will uh, sort the index properly after doing so. Then we have setting index. So if you want to set new name to the index, for example, here I want to put some different name to the index. I'll just have to write set underscore index. I have to specify the name of the index and in place equals to true to make it permanent. Combining data frames. So we can combine two or more data frames with the help of the concat, join, and merge. So here I have created two data frames, df7 and df8. So with the help of the concat, I'm just specifying with what data frames I have to merge, and based on what is it a row level we have to merge or column level, and in this way we can merge. Then we have the merge, which will combine the data frames using column values. So it is just like SQL merge. You have to specify how you want to merge. Is it a inner, outer, or on what you have to merge? So there should be a common condition or common label index between both the data frames, and that you can specify it here on equals to this. So here you can see based on the customer index, it is merging these two data frames. Then we have a join for combining the data frames. So join is exactly like merge, but you have to specify the data frame to be merged here in this way, like df9.join, and then you have to specify like what kind of join you want to perform, that is right, left, etc. Also, we have functionalities for calculating the unique values, value counts, and mean. Then we have apply method. So if you want to apply any kind of operation on each and every element of the data frame, you can do it by using the apply. So here I'm creating the method. This is my own method I have creating, and this I want to apply to each and every element of the sales column. So this is what I'm doing here. I'm applying this profit value to each and every element of the sales column. Then